All right, what is going on, everybody? We are back for another live stream Monday. Um, what was I about to say? I think that today, well, so y'all, this weekend was so my birthday is this coming weekend. It's on Sunday, and I'll be out of town, of course, with my friends. But what we did was I did a little thing in Houston, and I had a brunch on Saturday, and then at my homeboy house, and then I had a not an impromptu, but a kind of impromptu pool party yesterday. And so that was cool. We had a good little time. One thing about me is I'm all for the vibes that's cost efficient, but I can blow a bag too. It just depends on the mood I'm in. But like I said, what people fail to realize is I didn't been in like $1 million events and it was boring. And I didn't been to little functions with, the good energies and the vibes was there. So I think it's all the main thing really is just having the right people there. But people don't understand that. Or they don't know how to do it. And they think that because they got the little photo booth set up and they got all the look. But just because you got the look don't mean you're gonna have the full function. But everybody don't get that. So if you need help inviting people to something, call me because I know how to get the right people there. All right, so we got quite a few things we're gonna talk about today. I have a guest. Last week, my guest he couldn't show up because something happened last minute. I can't say it on camera, but if you want to know, DM me, I'll tell you. But I got a guest today, somebody who's actually gonna be on the podcast soon, but we got to get that squared away. And I actually want to get him in person. I don't want to do him virtually for that. So we're gonna have him virtual today, but the goal is at some point to have him in the studio downtown. So let me go ahead and introduce him. My boy, what's going on?
What's going on, brother? I'm chilling, laid back at the crib. Nice money
Okay,
making
good.
Monday.
So you said what?
I said it was a nice money making Monday. Just clocked out.
Okay, so people can see the name, but tell the people what's your name, tell them what you do, and what you can help them with.
Already. So my name is Kristopher Ross. I go by Cross Country Quick on Instagram. That's also the name of my business is Cross Country. I do credit repair and business funding. I help entrepreneurs and business owners get access to capital, fix their credit, and learn how to leverage that.
Okay. And then quickly, only because I'm gonna talk about it when I actually interview you all the way, but I do want to ask, tell the people what you did before you do what you're doing now.
Okay, so before I was into credit, I actually was in the streets, hustling, selling weed. I actually wasn't. It wasn't that I was not proud of it. It's just that's something I never wanted to be known for, and I kind of always wanted to keep that into my shadow and in my past. But I actually got a mentor, and he helped me bring that to light and embrace that because there's people who were once in my shoes or could relate to somebody like me, and those are the people I serve today.
But that's the thing. Everybody got a story and stuff like that is gonna make actually bring you more people because then more people gonna be like, he get it. So they like if he can do it, I can do it too. So anybody out there that got a little
For
story
sure.
like that, keep that in mind. Because somebody needs to hear what you got going on. All right. So we got a few topics we're gonna talk about today. One of them I'm actually interested to talk about all of them, but we're gonna start up with the easiest one first. We're gonna talk about the situation with Method Man that happened. So for those that don't know, at the Summer Jam in New York, him and Redman was on stage. When they were on stage, they talked about he got off stage and then he made a post talking about how the crowd was uninterested, the crowd was, boring, that they was this and that. And then they ended up booing him. Now, of course, not because of the quote, but because that's what he ended up saying afterwards. So I'm gonna go to a quick video right here from TMZ. We're gonna watch it and we're gonna watch his response to it and we're gonna comment on it. Because I have my takes on it, but like I said, we're gonna watch this first.
Was the Roots Festival definitely like more age appropriate, more like was the crowd more into it than what you saw at Summer Jam?
You know what I'm upset about? Because I wasn't mad at the crowd. If you look at the caption or the comment that I left, there's words like "thank you,"
Yes,
"I love you,"
Yes, yep,
"just a generation gap."
Yep.
I showed grace.
Yep, you
But the
did.
feedback that it's gotten, I don't think it's fair for one, and for two, I would never point my finger at a crowd for not liking my music. That's not even it. I was there for Mr. C, and it was New
Yes.
York. So I figured I'm in New York. I'm in my backyard. People know who I am.
Right. So you feel like it was kind of misconstrued.
Yeah,
Slightly,
absolutely
right?
misconstrued. I wasn't mad at the crowd. That was me having a self-awareness moment. That's it.
Right.
That's so.
Lastly, do you have a little bit of regret for putting that out, or do you feel like you said what you said and that's that? It is hip hop, right?
I don't regret nothing. I don't have regrets.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
It's the truth, though. Definitely the truth. It depends on how you speak the message.
Right.
And there's more ignorant people in the world than smart people, and I'll leave it at that.
All right. So he said, so let's get into the first segment today, which is what does this have to do with mental health? So I'll let you answer that in a second. But first, I want to speak on with that. So we live in a world where everything we say is under a magnifying glass. People are looking to pick apart everything you say, make it much bigger than it needs to be. When I first read it, I wasn't offended because I didn't care it. I wasn't there. But when I first read his post, I just was like, it did come off like he was going in. But when he clarifies it there, he basically was just saying like he said, it was a self-awareness moment. Why do you think society? Okay, everybody say that they want you to tell the truth. But when he even said he had a self-awareness moment, he was thinking out loud, which is the point of social media in reality.
Yeah.
Why do you think society reacted the way they did?
I think that everybody just always trying to troll. And Method Man, he is like, older. And I feel like a lot of people just throw a lot of shade towards the older generation. And they always throw slugs, and I feel like even that is an attempt to spark more of that like trolling negative energy. Like they want to get a bigger reaction out of him, out of those small comments that he made. So I feel like it's just one of those things trying to trigger people, because man, bro, it's a lot of haters out there, bro. And like I never truly understood the social media haters. Like, of course everybody got haters in real life, but social media haters are crazy, bro. Like I recently, like, especially whenever like you start going viral and running ads and stuff like that and just getting a lot of exposure, it just be dropping. Bro, can I indulge in this real quick, bro? So tell me why I'm running an ad for business funding, right?
Yeah.
I get this dude that comment underneath my ad talking about I would never be interested in this. And then at the same time, bro, this man DM'd me a voice message of a fart. Bro, this morning, the only reason why I'm bringing that up, bro, because this shit happened today. And I'm like, bro, this is insane. Like you really went through that trouble, bro. And I'm just like, I don't know, bro. I feel like it's just a lot of social media trolls and they get a lot of joy out of it, bro. Like they just want to see what somebody would do.
So before we get into that, because it's the mental health section, so I got to speak on that. And then I'm gonna speak on that first, and then I'm gonna go back to Method Man. So if we extract what happened, right? I feel like God took me on a journey of learning how not to respond some years ago and even recently, so that when stupid stuff like that happen, you don't respond. Like that situation, of course you can't respond. I mean, you can, but you really can't, because ultimately we know subconsciously, that's what those consciously even them people want your reaction. They want you to know that they bothered you and rattled you up. So like with him, I don't know, how did you respond? You just didn't respond at all.
Yeah, I just didn't respond, bro.
See, if I would have opened it and he saw it would open, I probably would have sent the laughing emojis or something. But when people know that you're bothered, they tend to go harder. They feel like they won. So like one time, something like that, almost go to my story, then go back to Method Man. Somebody had commented on something. It was when they ended up taking the audio off the video. I guess it was getting too many eyes. But we was talking about, what was it? It was when that stuff with Balenciaga came out, and I did a video on TikTok, was on my pockets, but it went up on TikTok. And I was talking about like the them being pedophiles and all that stuff. And then this one fat white guy, he came, he started commenting on my picture or the video talking about some broke boy can't even afford no Balenciaga. Now you trying to boycott it. I said, I said, how you know I can't afford it? He talking about something, I know you can because you making this video. I said, come on, let's go to the Balenciaga store right now. I said, I'm gonna get you something, I'm gonna give me something too. I said, send me your address. I like he started responding, but I'm like, bro, I was playing. I thought it was funny. But somebody else had commented laughing. but it was just like when you laugh back with them, it takes it away. Now the ultimate thing to do is to not respond at all. And I've done that a lot of times too, like when I can just some of the stuff, but like if you laugh back with them in some instances too, it's like it takes it away. And one
Yeah.
time I laughed with somebody who was trying to talk about me, and then they ended up following me on Instagram, and now they be like liking all my stuff. It's crazy. But going back to the Method Man situation before I move on, what I will say is with that, if you just extract what was going on, just the premise of the situation, it's unfortunate that you can't just voice your opinion without it being an issue. And like he said, he had a self-awareness moment and it became something way bigger than it needed to. But I will say he handled it well. He's never to me been known to be like in the media as far as like getting attacked or crucified too often. Like I can't think of the last time he's been in the media and they was trying to drag him. I don't recall. And I think that he just did a good job of how he responded to it and how he clarified it on TMZ. And it's kind of like mentally, it's like when that would happen, if you do say something that you think is just I'm just talking and it blow up, you looking like y'all really made a big deal out of that. It would irritate you at first and annoy you, but I don't know. So I kind of get it from that. All right, let's go to the next section, which is WWID, which is what would I do in this situation? I'm really conscious of what I post now. It's a shame we live in a world you got to watch what you post and your close friends too, because you see those videos of those celebrities. We ain't even talking about them type of people today, but those videos of those celebrities who post them in their close friends, and then it's something wild, and then it magically get leaked, and it's like it be your own people.
Nah, facts.
It be your own people. In this situation, honestly, I kind of can say I kind of can be loose-lipped at times, so that's why I'm like. I'm trying to be better, which I'm really good at though for real. Is when I think something crazy, I just try not to even post it. Or I feel like God will convict me real quick. Like if I post something crazy, or not even crazy, but something that I feel like could be taken the wrong way, and it's something that don't need to be said, I'll delete it before anybody see it. So put yourself in Method Man's shoes. What would you have done in this situation? You posted something on your story. You said something about a situation. It went up. You was getting trolled for. What would you do? Or how would you respond?
I mean, as far as being human, bro, everybody make mistakes, and then even like being irrational or letting something get to you. I mean, it's human to let that happen. Don't get me wrong. Do your best to, what I'm saying, let it go under the bridge. But at the same time, it's like just like you said, I feel like he handled it very well because he kind of just stood on what he stood on. That's how he was feeling in the moment. And, I mean, I'm not. It's like apologizing for something when you're not sorry. To be politically correct, when I feel like that takes away from us being human. Everybody want to be perfect. Everybody want to act like they're better than the next person when we all have similar flaws.
Yeah.
As far as being human, just like everybody got a brain and everybody goes through the full cycle of emotions.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go to the next segment. WWJD, what would Jesus do in this situation? So if we know, he said things obviously that were God-led, but he said things that got him, he wasn't in trouble, but they thought we was getting him in trouble. Or there was instances where I know, because I read through Luke recently, and there was instances where I saw like how they would try to twist his words or try to catch him in a lie. It never worked, but they would try to catch him in a lie, try to catch him saying, oh, this is what you meant when you said that. And he always responded well. Because a lot of times we think that we always are supposed to stay silent, but there are times we actually are supposed to respond. And I think it's easy. And honestly, it's the easiest thing to do is not respond. And there are instances where we don't need to. But like I said, with him clarifying, he didn't have to clarify nothing. He just said, like, it was a self-awareness moment. His body language to me was, I'm about to tell my truth. If you receive it, cool. If you don't, cool. I don't care. But this is what it was. If you don't believe me, then it is what it is. And sometimes we have to be okay with just telling the truth. Well, in reality, it'd be the truth, but to the people look like our truth because they think we lying. But we have to be comfortable with telling our truth and not really care what nobody think or feel, and don't feel the need to go any further. Say what I meant by it, and that's it. We don't have to keep explaining. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you ever tempted to like, so say you running ads, because I watched your page blow up, so I seen it. So I'm not where you at yet as far as number wise, but I know more money, more problems. So I didn't seen it when it was like a few K, and now you at like 20K now, right? Something like that.
Yeah. About 20K.
So
Yeah.
that's more opportunity for more trolls. I feel like people literally just lurk on the internet and say, "Who can I piss off today?" Or "Who got the clout? Let me go comment on their stuff." So, do you get trolled often? Do you get trolled every so often? How does it looking now compared to what it was?
I get trolled really often. I honestly don't read my comments too much.
Okay.
I do respond though, like if it's somebody asking for help or something like that, I'll DM them back and stuff like that, or and just like people I know, of course, because I have my thing set. Like when you scroll up to your notifications, it's set to people who follow me, just because I have so many followers and I don't want to manage all that because it's a lot. And yeah, I just let it go, bro. Honestly, so one time I had broke out or whatever, bro. I had like a little bit of acne. And I ain't gonna lie, this kind of when I first started going viral, bro, they was getting on my ass. Like for real, I don't know why. They just was like low key like 20 comments. And I like and at first I read it and I was like, bro, why they talking shit about me? And then I was like, bro, I don't even give a fuck. And ever since then, I honestly never cared about it. And that was just the first time. That's the only reason why I cared, because it was just new and I was so used to only like homeboys showing love, this, that, and the other. And then so that was the first time I really encountered it, but then I just took it as a grain of salt, bro. They don't got nothing else better to do, so
yeah, no, for sure. I think that too. Sometimes those situations is good because it puts you in a position to where you got to get over it. So like that was good for you because, like I said, now you don't care. Because like them celebrities, them reality stars, them musicians, like they said you get used to it after a while. Like they don't care at all. And like I know, so a lot of their favorite advice is always don't read the comments. So that's actually a good tip to do to make it to where I only give a notification from people I follow, because even how they turn up Jalen Green and Drea, mainly Drea, not him, but she said I intentionally do not read what y'all be saying. So I think that if you want to be in any type of spotlight, that's something you need to get used to or learn how to deal with. Last segment before we move to the next topic, WSMD. What should men do in this situation? So as a man, men should always, I believe, stand on what they said. Even if in this situation, he really can't come out later and say he was wrong, because he was given, what happened and what he meant by something. But even if whatever reason you were wrong, I stood on what I said at the time. I meant it in the moment. I realized later I was wrong. In his case, he came back and explained what he meant. To an extent, he didn't go do a full essay. He gave y'all the spark notes of what it was. He didn't go down to no 3 to 5 page essay, no 10 slide PowerPoint explaining nothing. He just was quick. This is what it was. That's it. That's all y'all need to know. Y'all blew it out of proportion, and that's it. So expect people to blow stuff out of proportion, because that's just people. You can't control what people do. You can only control what you do. And just know people gonna nitpick. That's the unfortunate world we live in, especially if you're in a spotlight of any kind. Anything you got to add to that before we go to the next topic?
What should men do in this situation? So this situation right here, I felt like he really wasn't wrong because he was just expressing himself. But if, say for instance, if he was wrong and maybe did go in a little too hard on somebody, or really did like admit your wrong and move on. Like don't get me wrong. Like as a man, everybody makes mistakes, and just apologize, give a genuine apology, and move on. Don't try to kiss no ass, or don't not apologize whenever it's clear that you are wrong. So that's it. But I feel like everything you said is I kind of align with as far as morally.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Beth. So we're going to move to the next topic. So the next topic is the hot topic of Project 2025. So we're going to watch a quick little video, and I'm going to skip through because we're not going to watch the whole thing. It's 7 minutes long. I mean, I got it sped up too. But we're going to watch just a little bit of it so people can get an understanding of what it is, because I didn't know what it was. And then after that, we're going to talk about it. All right, so let's load it up.
Policy development, personnel recruitment, training, and strategic planning for the early days of the new administration. Here's a more detailed breakdown of each component. First, let's look at the policy agenda. The Conservative Promise is a detailed policy guide that provides specific recommendations for governing major federal agencies. The guide encompasses conservative solutions to various issues, including economic policies, healthcare, education, and national security. It is intended to serve as a blueprint for the next conservative administration, ensuring that key conservative values and strategies are implemented effectively from the outset. The second pillar is the personnel database. Project 2025 includes a comprehensive personnel database aimed at identifying and vetting potential appointees for various positions within the federal government. This database seeks to ensure that a future conservative administration has a pool of qualified, ideologically aligned individuals ready to fill key roles. The recruitment efforts span across different sectors and backgrounds, targeting experienced professionals who can execute the administration's agenda efficiently. The third part is the training through the Presidential Administration Academy. To prepare the identified personnel for their roles, Project 2025 has established the Presidential Administration Academy. This academy offers a range of training programs, including workshops, seminars, online courses, and mentorship from former administration officials. The training is designed to equip future administrators with the necessary skills and knowledge to implement conservative policies effectively. Fourth is the 180-day playbook. The 180-day playbook is a strategic document outlining the immediate actions to be taken by the new administration within the first 180 days. This playbook is crafted to enable swift policy reversals and the implementation of conservative priorities, ensuring a smooth and impactful start. It includes specific actions for various departments and agencies, focusing on undoing the policies of the previous administration and setting the stage for long-term conservative governance. Now let's talk about the coalition and organizational structure. Project 2025 is supported by a coalition of over 100 conservative organizations, including think tanks, advocacy groups, and academic institutions. This broad coalition brings together diverse expertise and resources to support the project's goals. Notable participants include former officials from the Trump administration who contribute their experience and insights to the project. There are specific policy focus areas in Project 2025. Project 2025 proposes significant changes to federal policies on reproductive health. These include removing references to abortion from federal laws and regulations, reversing the approval of abortion pills, and defunding clinics that provide abortion or contraception services. The initiative also aims to reinstate the Comstock Act to ban mail-order abortions and reshape Medicaid to avoid funding reproductive health care services that include abortion. Another focus area is cultural and social issues. The project emphasizes the restoration of traditional family values and religious principles. This includes opposing policies perceived as supporting cultural Marxism and promoting a pro-life agenda. It advocates for policies that support the nuclear family, religious liberty, and traditional gender roles. There's also the leadership of Project 2025, which is directed by Paul Dans, a former chief of staff at the Office of Personnel Management during the Trump administration, with Spencer Sherteen serving as associate director. Both bring extensive experience from their previous roles in government, contributing to the strategic planning and execution of the project.
Okay, we're going to stop it there because I feel like we got a pretty good gist of what's going on for those that didn't know, because I know a lot of people didn't know what it was. Everybody seen posting and everybody reposting it because it looked cool and don't know what stuff is. So in case you didn't know, now you know. All right, so let's get into the first segment with this, which is obviously, what does this have to do with mental health? So just a quick breakdown, like I said, for those that may be a little because don't like politics, because I really don't like politics either personally, but of course we know we have to talk about it. We have to know what's going on. And so basically they trying to get rid of all the stuff that they didn't say and then ran amok. They, of course, there's a whole abortion thing. It's been a big battle, which obviously this podcast caters to men. So we obviously can't get abortions, but we can partake in them as far as you funding it or all that. Well, not good stuff, but you know what I mean. But mental health wise, what I'll say is, and shout out to Asia. Talk to me, Asia. She was like a podcast before it was a thing back in the day in St. Louis. I know her personally. And when she talked about abortion recently, she made the statement. They say, "Oh, it's my body, my choice," and that's the line they run with. And I get that. But in the same breath, do you also feel as though this generation, do you have like any like little cousins or like little brothers, sisters that you cool with or like really in their life? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because how old are you?
25.
Okay, so you're a little younger than me. Okay, but do you feel like the younger generation, it seems like they don't talk about sex ed no more. It seems like they just, you back in the day, it seemed like they always talk about condoms and they used to talk about birth control and all this stuff. It seems like now they are adding abortion to that conversation where it seems like it wasn't always the case. Of course, we knew it existed and people could get them, but it seems like they basically saying, excuse my French, F that condom, just go get an abortion. I feel like they just jumped, they just skipped over like that. Think of that meme of the people just leaping over the steps, like they don't even discuss this no more. They just say, "I'll just go get an abortion." And she made the comment that she feels as though society has made it to the point where it's just like, "Oh, just go get an abortion, it's okay." And it's like it's taking accountability away from people because it's like, "Oh, well, you can just go kill the baby," you know what I mean, or you can just go, terminate the pregnancy, whatever. I don't want to get flagged on YouTube, but you can just go terminate the pregnancy, and then it's like, where's accountability? I just feel like you knew. Then it was like, well, I'm not ready to take care of a baby. I'm not ready for all that. And of course, we know those extreme situations that happen where things happen to them, and they was abused and all that stuff. But my thing is, as a man, you knew you didn't want to be with her prior to. You knew you ain't had no money. So you knew that what was going to happen when you was going up in that thing raw. So you didn't have to do it raw. You chose to do that. That was a choice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So my thing, and that's just the abortion aspect of that. Now, before we go to the next part, so what's your take on that before we go to the next part?
So abortion, it's kind of hard, bro, because it's a double-edged sword with it. Because, like, say for instance, right now, if I got a girl pregnant right now, it's so much that I need to experience. Well, I need to, but want to experience out of life.
Right.
The freedom of not being so responsible, bro. Like, you do have to think for others once you start having kids. I mean, it's a long road, and so I think not having accountability is kind of a blessing, bro. And
sure.
to be honest, so I'm not gonna say I'm pro-abortion at all. I'm definitely in the middle. It's kind of one of those things, like whoever, like, say for instance, I can only talk about me myself because some people just not responsible. Some people shouldn't have kids to begin with, and so like everybody's situation is different. But with me, that would be a conversation I would have to have with the woman and see how things would go. Honestly.
Yeah. And it's not, and like I said, the thing is, it's not an easy decision at all. But all I'm saying is, it just seems to me like it's just like, oh yeah, it don't matter, huh?
Yeah, it's normalized
Yeah,
for sure.
and it's
Especially
like,
when it comes to like Plan Bs and stuff. Like
yeah,
those is like, oh yeah, just here you go. It happens to all of us. Like,
yeah, like, oh, just terminate that pregnancy. It's okay. It's no big deal. And it's like people just getting too comfortable taking stuff that you don't know what's going to happen to you later on in life. And even people that I've known personally who have had abortions, whether it was from the dude side who was a part of it or the woman, they always come out later talking about it messed them up mentally. Even if they didn't had 10 years later, 15 years later, they got a whole family and they still thinking about when they did that. And it's just like, things happen, but again, society has made it to where it's just like, oh, okay, oh, you had a bad night, just go do that and get it out the way. It's okay. And it's like, it's a big decision. This is not something that needs to be made overnight. But now jumping to the next part of Project 2025, I think it's interesting when they're talking about bringing back the nuclear family and talking about religious liberty and all that stuff. And I've noticed, people have the right to believe what they want to believe, and people going to do what they want to do. But mentally, I always find it weird how no other spiritual belief or religion is attacked as much as Christianity. I don't see Muslim faith attacked that much. It's attacked, but nowhere near like, it's like they don't make fun of it in TV shows, music videos. They make fun of Christianity in everything. And it's like, bringing back the nuclear family. I can't tell people who can't have kids and who shouldn't have kids because that's your people grow up as, if you got a family, right? But I think that with it, people are afraid that they're going to lose their rights. But it seems like they're trying to go back to, and I'm really trying to watch how I word this. I feel like they're trying to go back to how it was before they started just allowing everything, because I do believe certain things should have come through. But I feel like, when you turn the valve on a little bit and you just wanted a little bit of water and then it's just like,
yeah, just squirt out.
I just feel like too much then came through. What's your take on that?
I honestly am not too sure about exactly what it is you're talking about. Like,
So
I understand what you said. Like, I understand everything you said, but what you're speaking on, I'm not sure.
So I'm talking about just the world we live in now, because you know how like it seems like we allowed where I want to start. So we allowed I'm trying to go where I want to go with this. How I want to say it. I just feel like I'll keep it short because you smart, you catch on. We've normalized too much that should not be normalized all across the board.
Yeah.
And like I said, I feel like it's okay in some instances to an extent, but I feel like it's like you give a nigga an inch, they took a mile.
Yeah.
And they didn't took a whole yard. Wait, which one is bigger? I'm not the science person. I'm not the math.
A yard smaller than a mile, but
that's what I figured. I'm like, wait. But yeah, go ahead.
So I feel like as far as Americans go, I'm not gonna go to every country, but as far as Americans go, we don't hold anything too sacred anymore. Our freedom of speech,
there we go.
Our freedom of speech is a little, it has no boundary. It had, like, say for instance, like the reason why people like Sexy Red is so popular, which I honestly like don't have a problem with anymore. At first it was just annoying as fuck, but now I mean it's kind of cool, you know, giving empowering hood rats, you know, let's go. But I'm just saying, like, nothing is sacred anymore. A woman's body, religion, genders. I mean, we don't have, like, we don't hold nothing sacred, bro. We can give meaning to anything. We can take meaning away from everything. Like, we very wishy-washy as far as like Muslims, Buddhisms, like a lot of different countries that thrive in that. They have a lot more morals passed down in their daily life, in their society. What's okay? Some places still don't allow tattoos, where they still look down on people who get tatted and stuff like that. So I mean, I feel like we don't care about shit, honestly.
So that's what you're trying to get it out. So my homegirl, they on Instagram cutting up. She talking about you don't want to get canceled, huh? It's not that I don't want to get canceled. One thing about me, I don't care about getting canceled. I just don't want to sound stupid and I don't want to sound ignorant. That's why I'm trying to word it a certain way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's was my issue. Now she said too many sexy reds and blue faces in the world, and then she put in all caps sexuality. Now, like I said, what people do is their business, but it is like sex is in everything. And like you said it eloquently when you said that there's nothing sacred anymore. It's no morals. It's just like you can do what you want, when you want, how you want. There's no, even little small stuff like gluttony. People can be out here just, there's nothing wrong with being fat. There's nothing wrong with being big. But some people, it's just almost like, that's almost like a fetish or something, where it's like they just enjoy being like looking like, it's we all shouldn't. And people will say, well, you wouldn't get mad at Rihanna if she did it. But
I disagree, bro. I honestly do. I disagree because I do think there is something wrong with being fat. I don't care if you a man or a female. If you over 300 pounds, you have a very big problem and your quality of life is down. 300 pounds is still a lot. Like, I mean, you could be big, but if you over that, really 260, but I'll give you a margin for error. But like, I feel like your quality of life goes down whenever you that big. Like, there are certain things like, yeah, your quality of life just ain't right.
Well, we can't say 260 because if somebody's tall 260, it's a little different. Let's say 350. Because even
I ain't gonna lie. Okay, if you over 5'10", then we'll give it to you. But if you ain't over 5'10", I don't know.
I think that we have to consider, like I said, it really is just based on height and weight. But when I say big, I don't mean like a big person or like a fat person. I'm saying like morbidly obese, like my 600-pound life. That
Oh
kind of
yeah.
stuff is the issue, not like regular. You just
It's
gain a little
definitely
weight.
something wrong with that. How you how you was trying to say there's nothing wrong with that, bro? I ain't gonna lie, I can't let you make it with that one, bro. It's something wrong with being 600 pounds.
No, for sure, for sure. Like no, I'm saying I'm talking about it's not nothing being an issue when you like like a little 250, 260. Because like I said, I mean, I'm talking about like morbidly obese and how we just everything that's just extreme. Hold on. So somebody said um someone being fat as hell really shouldn't bother us. Weight is different because genetics play a big role in that. And like I said, I agree with that to an extent. We talking about morbidly obese people. I'm not talking about somebody got a little gut or a little fupa. I'm not talking about that. I'm not. I don't know if he is, but I'm
Nah,
not.
I ain't even discriminating. It's just that I feel like so many. It's another thing, bro. I feel like so many people give that as a pass when it's a problem, and it's mainly in America, bro. Like
Yeah.
I spent a lot, like almost a month and a half in Asia, bro, and you don't see very many big people.
At
Like it's
all.
just not common. And in America, we normalize it because first of all, our diet is trash, and then
Yeah.
everybody like to be nice to everybody, bro. Like in other countries, they'll be straight up with your ass. Like everybody want it sweet in America, bro. They want to be politically correct and kind when they know damn well it's a problem.
For sure. So so man, this is the clips for this episode here. Now, let's go to the next section. We're gonna continue with though. So WWID, what would I do in this situation? So I feel like, in short, with the whole Project 2025, I believe that every man, especially because that's who this audience is caters to, you need to have a sense of morality. You need to have some form of ethics. You need to have some form of a structure that you follow. And ultimately, whether or not you agree with everything in Project 2025, what you can say and give them credit for is they're trying to bring some type of order back. You know what I mean? And one thing I think as people we should always question is anything that's hated by the world, anything that they just hate, that we can't stand for this. I always start to raise a brow and I say, what's going on behind the scenes with that may be something we need. That's always how I've looked at stuff, especially when it comes to society. Like everybody hating something, like something ain't right. Why are they pushing that narrative? Why does everybody hate that one person? Something ain't right. That's how I always think about it. So I want people to learn to think for themselves. If you don't know much about Project 2025, do your research. Now is the time. And don't just repost it on Instagram because everybody reposting it. Like, learn about it, get more into it, and like I said, just believe. What's the saying? It's like believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. So I suggest you go and do your research on it more than that. All right. Now this is the one that might bring the controversy back. WWJD, what would Jesus do? So, yeah. So a lot of the things in Project 2025, honestly, if you read your Bible, you believe in anything, you would know that a lot of the stuff that they are in support of are what aligns with the Bible. This country was founded on that. Of course, people say, well, these people wasn't doing this right and they weren't doing that. And you're absolutely right. But ultimately, that was the foundation. People are going to be people. Nobody's perfect. But like I keep saying, they just keep trying to bring order back. They're trying to bring some type of order. Like I said, I'm going to do more research. I've really just started to delve in it today. So I'll come back probably on the podcast, maybe with a whole episode dedicated to this topic and how it aligns with mental health. But we need some more structure because the world is going to hell in a handbasket. And every day you turn on the TV, you see something else. It's like, we just lost it. As a whole, we just lost it in every area.
Yeah, it's just like I said, man, nothing is sacred anymore. It's like we'll slander anything, we'll throw dirt on anything, even with the Method Man thing we was talking about earlier,
Yeah.
they always want to try to just throw dirt on something. Nobody is safe. You could be the best at whatever you do. You could be Drake, you could be the best in any industry, the best athlete, the best podcaster. They always gonna find some reason to hate. And it's just that simple right now. Like that's the time of the era we in.
For sure. final part before we move to the final topic. I thought that one was gonna be the one, but this one been the one too. So WSMD, what's your men doing in this situation? As always, with anything that's going on in the world, do your research, do your own research. Don't go out what mama say, what daddy say, what your bestie say. Do your research on these things that you're that are being these hot topics, so that you just not again just following the masses just because it's cool or because everybody's doing it. Because again, it's corny, it's childish, but if everybody jumping off a bridge, you're gonna go jump off a bridge too. So keep that in mind when you're following these cult followings of these new ideologies, these new practices, these new theories, and have some morality. That's I think we need to do a case study on morality, like actually go do a deep dive, and I might do that in an episode soon. That might have to be a solo episode. Might not have no guests for that one. Anything else before we go to the final part?
Nah, let's get it.
All right, so the final thing we're talking about today is Michael Rainey Jr. from Power, and he was on Twitch. Well, I think it was Kai Cenat, and he was SA'd. For those that don't know what that means, sexually, I can't say it all right now, huh?
He was. I didn't hear about it.
Yeah, I'm finna show you the video, and then
Okay.
we're gonna go from there. Let me open it up. Let me share my screen. And this is actually shout out to Look It's Jay. He's a YouTuber, and he did a reaction video to it. And so we're not gonna watch his reaction. We're mostly gonna watch what's going on in the video. But let's watch this.
Let's get it.
Love him. And sadly, his sister loved him too much to the point of where she lost her mind when she seen him.
Everybody in here has worked a job, has more than $1 million. Y'all never worked, y'all never did nothing. Y'all literally have 5 minutes of max in here. Then y'all gotta get out, okay?
5 minutes? You know how much 5 minutes is?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, they've never worked. They've never worked a job, but they can play with us. Yo, anybody need water? Anybody need water? No, we go, bro.
Yo, paper towels for him.
Shut the fuck up.
As y'all see, literally, Talil was doing something else on stream, talk to some little kids, trolling them, giving them some advice, I think. And then his sister
really made me like all those sides really made me feel away. Because when people come, this is your crib. It's about hospitality. That means everything. Stop telling me to ignore it, because I don't try to ignore it. Y'all brothers was spamming it. That shit really got me really feeling away, because bro, I be around celebrities all day. You feel what I'm saying? Like even when I first started being my first few celebrities, don't get me wrong, I do unusual shit. No homo, like nothing crazy. Like I'd be like, like I be trying to record, get a video, a picture, whatever. But due time, you feel what I'm saying? That don't even notice we all equal, we all the same. But she never seen somebody that caliber, so she start. You feel what I'm saying? And that's my sister. So like I'm not gonna say nothing bad about her. I'm gonna just check and tell her like you don't gotta be on it, be all the same, we all human. If he's here for me, he's here for you. Family still doing this every Sunday. You feel what I'm saying? I got people telling me you gotta be aware who you have around when these people come. Why should I? We all equal. You feel what I'm saying? It's gonna be as we all got a mutual agreement, and it's about respect. I be dumb man, bro. Like I'm real chat. Nothing ever got me more mad than this, bro.
as y'all see, he responded.
All right, so now let's talk about that, because let's get into the what does this have to do with mental health section. So with that, let's be honest. Everybody, I seen people like, he a grown man and he's smiling and grinning. That's because he liked that. So because I don't have all the clips from what the response is. Of course, he apologized, the dude whose Twitch it was. I don't know if the lady has apologized yet. But Michael Rainey Jr. definitely spoke on it, and then the Twitch person publicly apologized to him, and then obviously apologized on here, saying like on his reaction video to it, basically saying like that was uncalled for, it was unnecessary. So mental health wise, as a man, if that happens to a man, and they like, oh, you a dude, you should just like that, you know what I mean? And he's a celebrity, no cameras are there, kids are there. Even if he was into her, which it doesn't seem that he was, people like, oh, his body language said otherwise. But how many times are women in awkward situations and they laugh and smile their way out of it? You just like, it's so awkward and you laughing because you can't believe that happened. What's your take on that?
I feel like it's definitely sexual harassment, bro.
Yeah.
For sure. And as far as a man goes, it's kind of like awkward to speak on situations like the same thing with women too. Honestly, I feel like it's one of the things like you really don't know what to do in that moment as far as like his expressions and stuff. Like it wasn't like he truly just allowed it. He was just like, bro, what? Like he kind of just froze up. And I mean, it's definitely something that's not ever given light or attention.
Yeah.
In a sense, like get impressed by a girl whenever she really like you or something and she not leaving you alone. Or I ain't gonna lie, one thing I do not like, bro, is when girls be slapping, but I'll be like, come on with all that. I feel like, bro. Nah, I was just playing. It's not that it's serious, but it's definitely something that's not spoke on. Never gets the time of day.
It's not because, like I said, if you slap her butt, it's gonna be a whole big old thing. But if she slap yours, is a joke. Unfortunately, we live in a world where it's double standards, and this is the world we live in. But like I said, if that was a dude doing that, if he was doing that to her, it would have been a whole big old thing. He'd be in handcuffs right now. So her doing it to him, and the fact that people are even arguing about this and saying like, "Oh, he's overreacting. It's not that serious." It just, once again, it goes back to the previous conversation. We don't take nothing sacred no more. Nobody has morals. Everybody's just free to do what they want. And you see where it's getting us. Nowhere. Everything is a problem. Everything is, it's just okay to do whatever. And like the fact that she did that on camera too, or did she not know the camera was there? Did she forget? Maybe she just got some, huh?
She wasn't worried about shit. She was attack mode.
She was for sure in attack mode, but like I said, had that been a dude that did it to a woman, it would have been a big old thing. And it's unfortunate because I just hated how people say his reactions made it seem like that he wanted it. And I'm like, that's literally what predators say about women. Oh, her face said that she wanted it. And it's like, no. But they have a warp. Not saying the lady's a predator. I'm not saying that. Hold on. I'm not saying she's a predator. I'm just saying that's how predators think.
Tomato, goddamn.
What would I do in this situation? Have you been in a situation like this before?
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it was as extreme, or just around a bunch of people like that, because he probably knew he was being recorded, so maybe he didn't want to just overreact. What I would have did, if I ain't gonna lie, I probably would have stiff armed. That would probably be my first just what I'm saying, a nice look, get up off me.
Yeah,
I definitely that was probably just me being completely honest. That's what I would have did.
Yeah, it would have caught you off guard. It would have caught you off guard for sure. So it's like what do you you know what I'm saying? It's like, what you doing? Like, you tripping.
You ever seen that Kevin Gates video where that girl tried to grab him and he kicked her in the face?
Yeah. And that's my thing too. You don't know what his reaction would have been. He gave you the nice version. He could have been Michael Rainey Jr. He could have been Kevin Gates. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. You got him, but if you would have got a Kevin Gates, then you would have been like, buddy tweaking, and it's like, nah, you tweaking, you the problem.
Nah,
so
facts.
that's the problem. That's the problem. WWJD. So ethically, morally correct. I mean, you can't tell nobody how to react. So I think, like you said, they would have reacted like you said. They would have reacted like him. The main thing is just not giving into the advances. And that's what he did. He didn't give into it. Now, it could have been one extreme or the other, but he didn't give into her advances. He just kind of like, and I feel bad for her to an extent too, only because she probably did get excited. It's a celebrity, and it's like, maybe she was thinking like, I'll never get a moment like this again. Got to make it count. But now your brother can't take you nowhere because they said she can't keep her hands to herself.
Yeah, I think she was just starstruck and was like, shit, I'm gonna get it while it's hot. Predator mode. This opportunity ain't gonna be here too long.
Get it while it's hot is insane. But for real, I mean
that's the type of time she was on, bro.
She couldn't even let the camera go down. She didn't care. The kids was in the room. But once again, while we may need to consider some structure, because people's lust and this horniness has gotten to a case of just it's uncontrollable.
So look, I heard this thing. If you watch porn, it makes you look at a lot more people sexually than if you didn't.
It's
Like
true.
it sparks because like it's different whenever you make eye contact with a female and it's already that in the air. Like that's a completely different thing
For sure.
versus every female you see whenever you stand in the line at Whataburger or some shit and you sexualizing them instantly. Like, don't get me wrong, like everybody sexualizes people, but it's a level to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't gotta undress every fucking body you see with your eyes.
But people don't get that because we have made everything okay to do whenever. There's no discipline. Like I said, as a man, you should not have discipline. You should have discipline. You should be able to say what you know, what I can control yourself. And a lot of times, I think society pushes us to be like, oh, it's a man, he can do whatever he ain't gotta have. And especially when it comes to sex, like, oh, he ain't gotta have no discipline. Like, you a man, you say you don't watch porn. It's like, what you mean you don't watch porn? What mean you know what I'm saying? And that's why people running themselves crazy. They don't understand why, but that's why I actually been trying to get a person who's like one of those porn advocates. I mean, not advocate, but against porn to get on the podcast. And I've been in talks with a few different people, but it never goes through to talk about the dangers of it, because take spiritual beliefs out of it. Scientifically, what it's doing to people. They in situations like this thinking it ain't a porno. That's a porn scene. Like why the people ain't looking? Just hold on. Like, that's something you do with somebody you already got something with, not no stranger. I mean, you think you know him because you watch him on TV, but
yeah.
So, final part, WSMD. What should men do in this situation? So, don't give them to the advances.
Stay vigilant. get you a whistle.
No, I'll get you a whistle, man. Look, I can't believe that this man happened to that man. Now he embarrassed. I'm just saying it would be totally different if he was a woman. It would have been totally different. And it's unfortunate that we even have to debate that he's not in the wrong.
Nah, facts. If it was a woman, he would definitely have charges. And especially him being famous. So picture if it was him doing that to the same girl right there on camera. She gonna be trying to get the bread out of him. She gonna be, he gonna go lose his whole name. Ain't nothing gonna be wrong with her
at all.
Even after this, they gonna be like, man, like, don't get me wrong, they might not take her ass nowhere, but she's still straight. Her friends like, girl, I would have did it too. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure that's exactly what they saying. And we're gonna end that there. So y'all, this has been a good episode. This I'm excited now for the actual interview. But this week on the podcast, I interviewed Philip Brackman, and it's a perfect episode talking about young men or men in society and the lack of fathers in their lives. And he's talked. I interview him about that. We go into a big case study about it, how society, once again, going back to society, and they're trying to push this narrative. Have you ever noticed, like on most TV shows, like the dads are like idiots, like Family Guy, The Simpsons, huh?
Yeah, American Dad.
Yeah, we unpack that on the episode and just talk about how fatherlessness really is doing more damage than people realize it is. And it was a good episode. So y'all got to tune in for that this week. But before we go, anything you want to pub or say to the people besides you fixing their credit?
I want to say happy early birthday, brother, man. Have a good perk 30 birthday. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and wild out. You know what I'm saying? You crossing another decade. That's the main thing I want to say. Thank you for everybody who, you know what I'm saying, tuned in, showed up today for bro's mental health interview, you know what I'm saying, going live. Although this wasn't an interview, my bad.
Correction. Right, that's coming soon.
This was a live. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I'll see y'all again soon. Cross Country Quick on Instagram. Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, y'all. So that is all we got for today. PSA signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are. Make your mind up. Don't let it make you. And remember, I love us for real.